Welcome to Little Fish and another of the Money Story series. Now here we're going to show you how a money story would work in a small village. This is specifically in the Southwest Pacific. And when you can see here, these graphics here at the top, this is about a forestry business, a sustainable forestry business. And this is where we start. This is all in pigeon. This is true means actual. And the actual money coming from the timber that is sold by the villager to the supplier. Now, up here, we've got the period of the financial report. And the financial report runs for the financial year. And in this case, being Papua New Guinea, PNG, it is from Christmas to Christmas. So the wet season, the slightly wet season, the bit of a dry season, and then back to the wet season again, from January through to December. All of this is designed so that it could be done manually on a big blank sheet of paper, or it could be drawn on the ground. So the first thing we look at is have a look at how much money came into the business. And here we can see that we've got money come inside, which is 46,500 kina. But of course, we're going to be stressing the physical shapes rather than the numbers. These are the planks of timber, and these relate to the amount sold. Here, we've got a scale to help people that scale to numbers. When people aren't very good at numbers, they need a lot of concretizations and other supports and cues. So this is the money that's come in. It flows into the business, and here we got, like, we could call it the bank tank or the business tank. This is buying cargo and work. So this really means cost of goods sold and expenses. And here we spent 38,000 kina. And we can actually look when we compare how much did we spend. Well, it's the same height as the tank. And when we looked, we could actually shift that across there. And you can see we've got actually a little bit left over. So what happens to that leftover money? Well, it actually overflows. So here we've got overflow, which is win money or profit. And we can see that we've got 8,500 and we've got a lot less. So we can actually see that overflow represents profit. So we could actually do it like this, quite simply. And then we could put this up here to show these are equal. So the extra is the overflow. You must always have more coming in than out. This is a very basic introduction. However, we also, in addition to the profit and loss, want to show the balance sheet. Well, how are we actually going to do that? First of all, we can just really simplify it by saying how much do we need to keep in the business? And we've got 8,500, so we need to keep it all in the business. Well, we'll come on to that in a second. But here we have the business road. And if you're just watching this video for the first time, I'd refer you to our Two Roads video, which is an establishment of how, by going down the village road or the community road and also the main road or business road, a business can be successfully integrated into a small village culture or indigenous culture. So here we have the vehicle traveling down the business road to the goal. The goal of the business, whatever that might be, it might be some economic benefit, greater happiness, a sustainability, looking after the land, a business that looks after the land for the next generation. And we put this money into the bank. Okay, now let's go to the next step. We talk about integrating. We talked about the two roads. So we bring in the second road, which is here actually a path. And most village businesses will actually need to release some money, won't they? So if they make a profit, and here we see the fence, the green gate, and the green gate has got to be open, so we can actually draw out of the business group money or community benefit account 1,250 kina, and that's used to travel down the path. So the road and the path, they work together. And once again, I'd refer you to our first step, because the first step when we go into a village, or rather facilitators who are trained by us go into a village, is that the road and the path are discussed, and how are they going to fit best together is discussed by the villagers. Finally, let me just bring you back to the whole picture, that we can put the picture of the whole business in context financially, the profit and loss, the balance sheet in its most basic, understandable form. We can begin to introduce concepts such as profit being overflow, that there must be more profit than actually the difference between the money you earn and the money you spend. And we can also even begin to introduce concepts like liquidity. So here water is flowing, but here you can see in the tank where the wealth or the net worth or the assets of the business are held, we've actually got some stones and some mud and so on. And that will be explained later. And then finally, we integrate the whole of the finances and put them in the context of the business suiting and being acceptable and even inspiring to the village owners, and yet the necessity for the business to be financially viable and follow the mainstream path. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, just a very short introduction of what we do.